Good morning. Namaste. All right, today we will be using all of our props, so please grab them as long as they are available, blocks, blanket, and strap. And we'll begin reclined on our spine. Go ahead and bring the blocks back with you. And as you make your way onto your spine, keep the soles of your feet together. Blocks under your thighs, open your legs out into Supta Baddha Konasana like a butterfly. You can bring the heels close to your hips or farther away, setting the blocks under your thighs to support you so that this is restorative, there's no straining. Your hands can be on your belly and your chest or opened out wide, palms to the sky. Allow yourself to settle in as we begin this week with our grounding practice. There might be an intention or something that you'd like to set the tone for this week. As far as the lunar phases go, this is like a germination period. So keeping that in mind as you work towards your goals, whatever path or trajectory you're on. Remembering that while we cannot control everything, we can control so much by our outlook, by choosing acceptance instead of resistance. That does not mean complacency. It just means we're not seasoning our life with bitterness. So whatever's going on, be here with it now. It might feel really good to inhale deeply and exhale, audibly sighing the breath out. Do that as many times as feels good. Place both hands over your heart space in this Supta Baddha Konasana, reclined bound ankle. We'll chant our Om in this way. Really focus on the vibration that you're able to create. So as your body presses into the mat and your hands press into your body, we should hopefully feel some vibration and know that we do impact the world around us with this vibration. Inhale deeply for one long Om. Keep your right leg exactly how it is. Extend your left leg long. So we're in a reclined tree pose. You might adjust your right foot so it comes onto the thigh or below the knee, just as if we were in real tree. Maybe you find that you would prefer to remove the block from your right leg here. And once you situate yourself, release your hands down by your sides, palms up. You might walk your shoulder blades together and down here. Now activate both of your legs. So maybe with your eyes closed, pretend that you're standing on the left leg. Left foot is flexed. Feel your sacrum, the base of your spine, pressing into the mat. And notice your hips. See if you can make them more level by dropping your right hip down. Press your right foot into your left leg. Your core muscles probably automatically turned on, but just in case they found a way to bypass, they'll do that. Go ahead and intentionally engage your core, squeezing the muscles in towards the spine, still standing down into your left leg. Maybe you reach your arms up overhead. How much action can you bring to this reclined posture? So it might not look like much, but you might be able to put so much effort in that your muscles begin to shake a little bit. Another breath here. And with an exhale, return your arms down to your sides. Release the tension and energy from your body. Let yourself melt into reclined tree. All right, bring both soles of your feet together again, returning to Baddha Konasana. Left leg stays right where it is, and right leg extends long. Lots of action into the right leg, just like you're standing on the ground. Toes are pointed towards the sky. Imagine the sole of your foot energetically pressing down and out. The left foot finds the right leg. Maybe you discard the block under the left leg. Press the left foot into the right leg and notice your hips. Your left hip might be a little hiked up. Maybe you can intentionally ground it down towards your right foot. Tailbone anchored down, core muscles engaged. Palms towards the sky by your sides. Maybe you inhale, reaching your arms up overhead. See how long you can get from the sole of your right foot to the tips of your fingers. Imagine knitting in your lower ribs, engaging your abdominal muscles. Be sure that that core is engaged and supporting you. One more big breath here. Exhale, arms down by your sides. Release the tension from your legs. Let yourself melt for a second. And roll onto your side, making your way up to a seated position. I encourage you to sit on a folded blanket and grab your strap. You might use your blocks here, but we can probably put them at the top of the mat. Legs extended long, Dandasana staff pose. Hands by your sides, we roll our shoulders up, back, and down. Heart lifted, core engaged. Lots of energy into the legs. The kneecaps are lifted while our quadriceps engage. Keep all of that action and intention and bend your right knee, placing the right foot on the upper left thigh. Loop that strap over the left foot. And if you don't have a strap or don't want to use it right now, that's okay. Wherever you are, lengthen your spine as you inhale. And exhale, begin to hinge forward. And you'll notice at some point in the forward fold, something might feel like it has to give. So maybe your knee needs to lift, or maybe you notice yourself starting to round into your back. So you can do whatever you want, but I would say find the edge right before you feel like your spine needs to round or your knee needs to bend. Find the edge, back off an imperceptible, just a tiny amount, and stay there and breathe. Stay really active through your left leg. The right foot is actively pressing into the left leg. Your core is still engaged while we lengthen our spine. Maybe we take a hand, pick up and move our belly tissue out of the way, and maybe that will allow us to fold forward more. If you can reach your left foot, go for it. Every inhale brings length to our spine, creates space in our body, connects us to the outside world as we inhale that life. And exhaling, we give back and we soften. And maybe we release deeper into the stretch. Janu Shirshasana. Check in, be sure that you're still pressing your right foot into your left leg. As you do that, you might be able to notice your left hip shifts back in space slightly. One more breath here. And as you're ready with an inhale, we release sitting tall, sending our right leg long. Pause for a moment, and then bend the left knee, left foot pressing into the right thigh. Looping the strap over the right foot if we're going to use it. Sitting very tall with a long spine. Inhaling, and as we exhale, begin to hinge forward. Again, notice that moment when you go so far that you start to round your spine or the knee lifts. And you can stay there, but I would recommend backing out of it, re-lengthening both the leg and the spine, and then staying there and breathing. Hello. Notice if you've started to lounge in this posture, that's okay, but you could also bring more action into it by engaging your core, by pressing your left foot into your right leg. The right foot is still flexed and active. Maybe as you breathe and as your muscle fibers extend and stretch, maybe you can reach your right foot. Another breath or two here as that left foot presses into the right leg. Can you feel the right hip shift back in space slightly? And on an inhale, release, sitting up tall. The strap can go off to the side. Make your way into tabletop. Blanket can go off to the side as well. All right, in tabletop, just a couple rounds of cow and cat, saying hello to the spine in this way. As you flex the spine down and up, push the ground away. All right, tuck your toes. And the next time you exhale, send yourself into downward facing dog. Settle in. So take any motions that feel good here, bending the knees, swaying the hips. Let your head hang heavy once you get settled in. You might open and close your jaw, maybe shake or nod your head. On an inhale, send your left heel to the sky, three-legged dog. Point and flex your toe here, or your ankle. Inhaling, look forward between your hands. And as you exhale, step or swing the left foot to the top of the mat. Whatever it takes to get there. Drop your right knee down. And on an inhale, reach your arms forward and then up. Settle in, maybe a little lower into your hips than usual this time. Just make sure that your left ankle is under your left knee. There's a tendency in these low lunge postures for our left ankle to stay back in space, and that hyperextends the knee. So always checking left ankle under knee. Maybe we melt a little more into that right front hip than we usually do. Sinking down. Lift the heart. Maybe you can get a really great stretch here through your torso, staying low to the ground. Inhale and really reach. Exhale your hands down to the mat. Right toes are tucked. Inhale again. Exhale, step yourself back to downward facing dog. Inhale your right heel to the sky, point and flex. On an inhale, we look forward between our hands, and exhale, step or swing that right foot to the top of the mat, making sure the right ankle lands under the right knee. Drop the left knee. Maybe we sink lower than usual into that front hip flexor. On an inhale, reach your hands forward and up. Breathe deeply. One more inhale to reach, sink low. Exhale your hands down to the mat or blocks for a little extra height, preparing to step forward. Inhale and exhale all the way forward into Uttanasana, forward fold. Let's go ahead and grab one of our blocks and squeeze it between our upper thighs, and then return to our forward fold. As you're squeezing the blocks, you might notice almost feels like an internal rotation in the thighs, like the thighs are spiraling in towards each other and back behind you. And as you squeeze the block, maybe you get a sense of release in the low back. You can still bend your knees. Let your head hang really heavy here. Gently draw your shoulders away from your ears, so exploring gravity, but letting your head be really heavy and just slightly bob forward and back or side to side. Maybe you can feel layers of tension leaving the body. On an inhale, rise all the way up, squeeze the block, straight spine, reaching out and up. Exhale your hands together at your heart center. So we're still squeezing the block between our thighs. Hands can stay pressing into each other at your heart center or maybe down by your sides. Whatever you do with the hands, make sure that your arms are energetically engaged. Same with the legs. Squeezing the blocks will help us be really mindful in Tadasana. But notice the bottoms of your feet pressing into the mat. You might rock forwards and backwards on your feet until you find the perfect center. Your legs are engaged, kneecaps lift while quadriceps engage. The front hip bones are reaching up towards the sky, and the tailbone is anchoring down. So it's like a constant circuit, a loop of energy. Front body is lifting up, and the back body is anchoring down. On an inhale, sweep your arms out wide and reach. Exhale, hinge forward, core engaged all the way down, swan dive with a long spine. On an inhale, lift halfway, long spine, looking straight down. Exhale to fold. Inhale, rise all the way up. Exhale, hinge over to your left. So reaching up and over. Legs and hips stay neutral. Squeezing the block will help. One more inhale here. Exhale here. Inhale to center. Exhale over to the other side. Breathing. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale to neutral. Swing your arms back behind your back on an exhale. Clasp your hands. Notice which thumb lands on top. Inhale, lift your heart while your knuckles anchor down. Exhale, hinge forward, forward fold. Be mindful of your shoulders. If it hurts or feels strenuous, lighten up. You might nod your head in slow motion, saying no, and then saying yes. Imagine someone lifting your knuckles to the sky, maybe even overhead behind you. Put a little bend in your knees, and on an inhale, rise up with a long spine. All the way up, heart lifting. Switch the clasp of your hands. Opposite thumb comes on top. On your next inhale, see if you can back bend a little deeper, heart lifting. Exhale, fold forward. Imagine the knuckles still lifting up to the sky. Shoulder blades draw together. Jaw and neck are relaxed. On an inhale, lift up, knuckles lead. Heart lifts. Exhale, release your hands. Stand in Tadasana, mountain pose. Release your block. Blocks are at the top of the mat. On an inhale, sweep your arms out and up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, root down to rise all the way up, clearing half sun salutation. Exhale, hands to your heart. Return to Tadasana, mountain pose. If you feel like your balance is not on today, you might grab a chair or move to the wall. Imagine you're still squeezing the block, and we won't bypass this important step. Really take the time to ground down. Core is super engaged. You're asking it to support you as you shift your weight into your right leg. Left foot floats off of the mat. You can bring your hands to your hips or heart center as you bring your left thigh towards parallel to the earth. Left foot very flexed and engaged. Now open that left leg out wide like a book opening. Let your left foot find your right leg anywhere except for right on the knee. Press the lifted foot into the standing leg. There's this central line of energy, the Sushumna. We're pressing into that. And you might notice when your opposite sides press together, you feel a sense of buoyancy and lift. If not, you can imagine it. If you feel really steady, maybe you lift your focal point, your drishti, to a higher place on the wall or ceiling. Maybe you start to lift your heart, finding a little back bend, maybe even closing your eyes. Feel free to play with it. About 3 more slow breaths wherever you are. Awesome. Preparing to release Vrikshasana tree pose. You can be doing anything with your hands and arms right now, but we will slowly start to bring our left thigh back to parallel to the earth right in front of us. Hovering here as patiently as we can. And with an exhale, slowly set your left foot down, returning to Tadasana, mountain pose. You might give your right ankle a circle or two. And then Tadasana. Again, take that moment to really be in Tadasana. We're already thinking in our minds, most of us, about tree pose on the other side. And then what we've got to do after this, but stay right here, right now. Feel your feet on the mat. Feel the sensation of your left leg taking on more weight as you shift your balance into the left leg. Right foot floats off the mat, bringing the right thigh towards parallel. Doing the best you can. Open your right leg out wide. Let the right foot find the left leg. You can use your hands to help. The right foot presses into the left leg while the tailbone anchors down. Still think of lifting the front body while anchoring the back body. Hands and arms are doing whatever they need to do to support you. Be your own best friend here. Set yourself up for success. Maybe you lift your gaze. Maybe you explore back bending and tree pose. Maybe you close your eyes. Be sure that you're breathing deeply wherever you go. Really squeeze and engage your left gluteal muscles, hugging everything into the midline. One more slow cycle of breath. And then with as much control as you can muster, we'll release our right foot, bring that right leg back in front of us, thigh relatively parallel to the earth. And on an exhale, slowly set our right foot down. Release our hands by our sides, maybe give the left ankle some attention. Right, on an inhale, sweep your arms out and up. Exhale, fold forward all the way down. Step yourself back into downward facing dog. Excuse me, sir. From downward facing dog, come down onto your knees, tabletop. We're coming into a side plank on our right hand. So the right foot swings off the mat back behind us. Left foot stays in front. Step your right leg back. Still looking for the best words to talk us through this. Make sure that your hips are lifting up towards the sky. Now you might stay here with the left foot like a kickstand in front supporting you as you reach your left arm up to the sky. The right pinky side blade of the foot is pressing into the mat. Maybe it's an option to bring your top leg, your left leg, into Vrikshasana tree pose. You can be looking up, straight ahead, or maybe down towards your right hand. Wherever you are, can you lift your hips a little higher to the sky? One more big breath. And on an exhale, lower down. You can lower your hips to the mat. Give yourself a moment of pause. Return to tabletop. Taking it to the left side. So first the left leg swings back, allowing our right leg to step in front of us, our little kickstand. We're grounded into the left hand as we send the left leg long underneath us. Left hip is lifting up towards the sky. Right arms reach up to the sky. You might stay here. Maybe you can reach your right foot onto your left leg, finding tree pose in side plank. Breathe deeply. Still imagine the Sushumna, the central line of energy. That bottom hip is lifting up to the sky. Another breath of exploring. And with an exhale, we lower our hips down, situating ourselves for a quick but well-earned Shavasana. So you might want today to use the blanket under your knees. Send your legs long, recline onto your spine. And when you get there, give yourself this minute to really practice letting go, being supported. Sometimes it's hard to let ourselves be supported. We want to hold and take care of ourselves, but right now you are completely held and supported by the ground. Your muscles don't have to work. Your mind can take a break for the next 50 seconds. Release Shavasana as you're ready. And make your way back to a comfortable seat. And we'll close today's practice by sharing one long round of Om. So as you arrive in your seat, hands together in front of your heart, sit tall. Inhaling for Om. Thank you for sharing your practice. Namaste.